Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. Another week has gone by since the set has released. I say another week, the first week has gone by. And if you tuned into my Market Watch last week, thank you so much. That video has done very well. So I'm going to be making another one today. Obviously I'm dripped out. It's manga Aibo time. This is the rare limited edition to celebrate the fact that I got one. In our cases, we, there's four of us who split them, but we did pull one. If you want to check out my pulls, you can actually see them on my Twitter, which you should follow me at Academy Aibo. Anyway, enough shilling. Let's jump right into the Market Watch because, man, stuff has been crazy over the last week. So firstly, if we look at the sealed product, cases of set one are now $1,800. And if you go back and watch that video, I told you guys this is only going to increase. The prices are going to go really, really high because there is no restock coming. Like, there is no major restock coming until after the Treasure Cup. I think in Feb we're going to see some of the most insane prices, and it's probably going to turn people off from the game. And that does suck, but also I want to sell my alt arts. So, you take the good with the bad. We can see the Super Release decks, about the same price, $400 for the set. Booster boxes of Romance Dawn, $170. I mean, that is ridiculous. And even the Paramount War stuff at $140 is well over the top of how much it should be. We can see here $150 on the Super Release for red, but then purple is 90, green is 69, nice, and blue is 55. A set of the normal starters at $65. The winner promo pack at the moment is $80. This is a massive L because if you we'll come to that in a moment, but all of the promos you can pull inside this are selling individually for less than that. So yeah, this is way overpriced. This promo pack 2022, $20 right now. That's actually an okay price, but most, again, you can pick up what you actually need individually for much cheaper. We can see the starter deck prices hovering at about $18, which I think is reasonable. So glad to see that the starter decks are not actually crazy overpriced. And nothing insane from that sense. You can see here the starters are all at relatively normal price points. Okay, promo cards now, and we can see here that the winner Luffy currently at $800. I actually don't know when the last one of these sold though, and I think this is going to be an issue. Like, yes, they're on the market for a high price. Who is buying them? I know there are collectors in this game, but who is buying them? Right? Like, this is going to be a difficult card to sell at this kind of price point. The winner promos, you can see are taking up the top most expensive promo slots, $60 on the top end, 50 on the Kaido, and then about 40 on the Luffy's. That's pretty damn good for winning a locals. Well, I do apologize. Moving on, we can see the base rarity versions of Luffy. This Luffy is about $15. This makes sense. This is by far the most playable one out of that store entry promo pack. It's the one I'm going to need 4 copies of, so it makes sense. Lore, though, also pretty good, $11. This Pirate King one is going to tank because it's not very good. It's Kaido again, not super amazing. Yamato sees a little bit of play. Kid, I think, massively overpriced right now here at $11, completely unnecessary. I'm hoping all of these film prices are going to crash, especially Sunnykun, but I don't know. You do need 4 copies of Sunnykun for ZORO in set 2, and that's looking like an S tier deck, so a bit of a rough one. That's basically it for the promos. I think that's because it's, again, one of the less interesting parts. Right, now we move on to the rares, and we're going to start getting into some exciting stuff here. So, Nami up at $140. I am not surprised at this. I think we could see it go as high as 200, but I definitely do think this is a reasonable level for it to hover at. I think more than this is pushing it a bit, but it is, a staple card, incredibly good. She's playing basically everything, and then it's also like people simp over the character, and it's, her boobs are basically out. So, right, like, yeah, not surprised it's very expensive. Doffy here at 25, very reasonable. I think this card will increase in price near a set 2, but at the moment I think it's at a reasonable, very reasonable amount. Sanji here at 25. I think this is a bit undervalued, to be honest. I think this card is really good. It sees play, and the artwork is incredible on it. I think this card is definitely being slept on. Ulti at 20 at the moment. I think this is alright. This is reasonable. Again, I could see this going higher because it does see play and it is woman, and apparently that means if woman on card, then price go up. That's how it works. So, yeah. Jack and Queen are both at about $10. I think those are reasonable prices for those two. I think they're probably going to stabilize around there. Guys, the main set prices have been pretty nuts over the last week. Let's begin. Amanga Shanks, now $520. I really think, okay, right, let me just have a conversation with you guys right now, okay, right. I said this last week. The market is so unbelievably unaware of how few of these there are out there, because as I said last week, if you pull a Manga Shanks, there is zero probability you are like not going to post that you have pulled it, and you're not going to try and sell it, right? Like that's almost a guarantee, right? Like it's just gonna happen. So when you've got this disproportionate number of people, right? Like if I pull an Alt Art Zoro, I might just keep it and play it. I might never show anyone. If I pull, that's a really expensive card, right? So there's a lot of these really expensive cards where an Alt Art Hancock, an Alt Art Nami, you know, I might just not show people. But with the Shanks, yeah, I'm showing people. So there's I think there's a disproportionate number of these in people's mind as to how many there are out there. And I think we are going to see this card start climbing very steadily in price, and I will be surprised if it is not $2,000 by the end of next year. That is what I'm expecting. By the end of 2023, Manga Shanks is going to be about 2K. I just think it's likely and it makes sense. But man, Zoro Alt Art $90. That's selling all day, every day. Hancock at 120. You see the market price was 80, but for most of the week this card was down at 60. So last few days people have really been buying them up. I think because now people have had all their product come in over the last week. So anyone who's bought boxes knows what they got and knows what they need, and is now looking to pick up what they don't have. Yamato, it's $75. Actually got 3 of these in our cases, and these are selling all day, every day. So looking forward to selling those. Law, up a little bit to 45. It was down bad last week at 35 to 40. I may still pick up a playset of these. I'm not sure. We actually didn't get any in our cases, weirdly enough. It was the only Alt Art we didn't pull, but I think we did very well, all things considered. Again, look at my Twitter. Pretty exciting. Kaido up at 35. For a while there, he was at 50. Literally the day after I made the video, he was at 50. And I was like, damn, that was fast. But now he's stabilizing more around 30, 35. I think there's a little bit of room to grow on this guy. You know, it sees play in everything. You need 2 to 3 in every purple deck that's competitively viable, so it makes sense. Shanks 30, 35. I think this is reasonable as well. Luffy here at 30, 35. And I think this is only going to increase in price, actually, as people realize that mono red Luffy is actually quite good, and you do want to be playing this card mono red Luffy. So that is going to be that. Kid up at 30, about the same. It happened, lads. Zoro 33. It had been hovering around 20 to 25 for most of the week, but today it's crossed that $30 threshold, and I really do believe the only way is up. I said Zoro to 30 sooner than we think. You know what? This was sooner than even I thought, and I was like thinking, oh yeah, early January. Nah. I think by Treasure Cup we may see this card consistently selling at $50 or even more, maybe even 60. This is insane. And it really does make green look like the most insanely budget alternative, which may very strongly influence the number of green players you see. And to me, this means that we're probably going to be seeing a lot less red out there just because of how expensive this card is. You can see an Alt Art Mihawk here at 20. I think that card is really undervalued right now, but so I'm going to be picking up some at this price, I think. Shanks at 20, I think this is also very reasonable. Yamato at 20, I think these secret red prices, totally fine. If it went up to 30, I don't think I'd be mad. I think that's a very reasonable range, because these are quite rare. You do not get that many. I believe we got 9 Shanks and 7 Yamato in 2 cases, right? So you, on average, are getting about 4 of each per case, right? That's 12 boxes, so it's pretty rare. King up at 20, reasonable price again. Law also up at 20. I remember when this card was like $5, $10 like a week ago. Alt Art Croc had a little bit of a glow up at 20. Alt Art Kinemon 10. I still wouldn't buy it at 10. Hancock increased price to $8 here. We can see some of these SRs are now up in these prices a little bit. A lot of them are still very, very low, but actually if you do click on them, for example, this Luffy is a buck, right? But if we actually click on the listing, you can see actually it's 2 and then there's a buck shipping. So that's worth considering as well. So really interesting stuff there. And actually something I do just want to bring up is, because I do just think this is very entertaining. If we just look at this Zoro chart, I mean, my God. So you can see it was as low as 14. Now, I distinctly remember it being able to pick them up at like $4 or $5, like on the day of release. So maybe that was only 1 or 2 sellers, and that's why I have that in mind. But even still, I mean, man, what a insane! And you can see here, like sellers were already waiting for it to go to 40, right? And there's not that many of them here. There's really not that many. Pretty crazy. And finally, we'll talk about the leaders. We can see here Alt Art Zoro and Alt Art Law leading the pack at pretty much $100 in value. Doffy had a little bit of a decrease in value. Now it's hovering about 50. The market price is 60, so it's been selling at around that. And then below that, it's sort of 30, and then King at the lowest level. And we can see the Don has decreased in value a little bit, but I think this is, you know, this is I think safe to say at about 10. I imagine it'll stabilize around 10 because I think that's a very reasonable price to pay for this Alt Art Don. It's 1 per box, relatively rare, and it looks really nice. But yeah, So that is it for this market watch. Overall, I think, you know, I'm not surprised to see prices on the whole have just been increasing quite quickly. ZORO, I think I am surprised to see it that expensive that fast, but it does make sense to me. And yeah, overall, it's looking like this game is. I think these prices are more healthy. You definitely don't want the game to be cheap as chips like it was last week, because I mean then there's no sense in opening boxes. But but at the moment, like, it's okay. I do believe before the treasure cups, we're going to get to a point where the game is people look at it and go, "This is ridiculously expensive. Why would I play this?" Just because there's going to be a huge amount of demand. To put this in perspective, I'm going to a locals today. It's 60 people. You had to pre-order a ticket in advance, and it sold out 2 days ago. 2 or 3 days ago, right? Like, and people didn't even know if they had product then. A lot of the stores in the area didn't get product. And this store, which had 400 people sign up to the pre-release, to the super pre-release, and for only 8 spots, only got 100 boxes total, right? So, yeah, I think there's there's going to be some demand. Obviously, very anecdotal evidence, but I'm hearing similar stories. I saw a 50 to 60 person locals in Texas, and seeing all these big locals. So I do think there's going to be a large amount of demand. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are these prices healthy? Are these prices disgusting? Are you most surprised by anything? And I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content. Lots of deck profiles coming soon as I finally have my cards. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.